Hey guys, and welcome to episode 3 of The Collective. I'm Stevie J, and today, again, I have James Reid with me.
Hey mate, how you going?
Not too bad. I don't know whether we should call this episode 2.5 or 3 or 3.5, but can't wait till we get to episode 69. For those listening, we have actually already recorded this a couple of days ago. We had some issues. We're re-recording, so thanks James for coming back. Yeah, it sounded kind of like a LimeWire from 1997, like when you've accidentally downloaded some porn.
There's definitely as many problems with it, many bugs.
Yeah. So I will just rehash, guys. If you're trying to find episode 2, you'll probably struggle. You can keep going and keep looking for it if you want, but it is now a Easter egg episode. I think I've had maybe 10 people that listen to it. I did have to take it down just because I gave away a couple of sensitive info. However, if you do want a copy of it, just let me know. But yeah, I guess I might actually literally name today's episode 3.5 when I upload it, just because people will be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they'll be tripping right out. It'll be great.
So we did talk a little bit about coronavirus yesterday, but I'm kind of fucking over it. We're being plastered with it everywhere. So I reckon we'll just jump straight into the philosophical questions. What do you reckon?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Cool. So question number 1, what is the meaning of life?
Yeah, so we had a good discussion on this yesterday.
We are rehashing literally everything, so
it is great.
But, that's fine.
As I said yesterday, I think the meaning of life is going to be very different for every single person. What experiences you've had previous to this point in time will kind of make up your thoughts and your opinions. Everyone can be swayed in that, but I think the meaning of life is just to enjoy it as much as you can while you get the chance. I think at the end of the day, if everyone goes out and tries to live their best life, then that's all you can ask for.
Yeah. So you think the meaning of life is individual, not...
Yeah, I think so. I think it's very much. It's definitely not a holy grail.
Yeah. I think you'd be hard-pressed to actually find someone that would say otherwise.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you'd be hard-pressed to say otherwise. Rightio. Question 2. What happens to us after death? And don't say we're going to heaven. You can say that if you want.
I think we're definitely going to just rot in the ground. No, look, I think, again, everyone's going to have a different view on this, which is great. Some who are probably more spiritually minded will think very differently. I like to think very literal. Because you have so many experiences in life that make you kind of look at it and go, okay, where are we at? But for me, I like to look at it and go, there's only really proof that we go to the ground and we die. And there's not any real proof that there's an afterlife or anything, or reincarnation or anything like that.
Mate, I don't know if you've ever heard of a book called the Bible, but there is a bit of proof.
Yeah, so. That's a good story, that one.
Have you ever read
no
it?
one ever.
Have you ever read any of it?
No.
I'm pretty sure at a doctor's office one time I read the first 6 pages.
Nice.
So I'd say that's 6 better than most people can do. I probably shouldn't criticise the Bible considering I haven't read it word for word. But then again, fuck them.
Yeah, well, you win some, you lose some.
So if there was... I hate to use the analogy, but it's the only one I can really kind of think of. If there was a gun against your head right now and they said, James, you have to accurately describe what happens to us after death. Ironically, you would die if you didn't get this wrong. What would you say?
I would say, straight out, plain and simple, that there's no real afterlife.
Yep.
Hopefully there is. I think reincarnation sounds like a great thing.
What do you want to come back as? Are we talking animal reincarnation or are we talking human reincarnation, like a spirit kind of thing here?
I look at it as the cat that I've got at home that does nothing all day and just eats and is fat and lazy as fuck. I think that sounds great.
That's what I want to do right now. And with this self-quarantine, there's a high likelihood of that happening.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah, cool. Just out of curiosity, James.
Yes.
Because we've changed our recording process, just checking over there, mate, and it's all good.
Yeah, everything's working
all good.
Well, we're hoping everything's working well.
Yeah,
everything looks to be coming up well. So
this is technically the second time we've done this over the internet. The first time we did it over the internet, we just had some issues with the with it. So we're recording locally. So James is going to record on his machine, send me the file, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Question 3, mate. Are humans obligated to better themselves, and will that make them happier?
I think everyone should be trying to better themselves. Again, it's a bit tough. We had a good chat about this yesterday. But I think if you're not trying to better yourself, where is your quality of life? As for making you happier, I think if you're not pushing yourself to your limits, how happy are you actually going to be within yourself?
Yep.
If you're doing the same shit every day, there's no sense of accomplishment, no sense of really prevailing or improving your life. So how happy could you really be? Like, I get there's some people out there who are very rich and lounge around and go into early retirement and do that. And I guess if they're spending time with people they care about, I guess that's just as important. But then those people aren't really bettering themselves, I guess.
Yep.
But overall, you look at some of the best moments throughout your life. The same with me. I look at the moments where I've overcome something that I've never been able to do.
Yep.
It hasn't been, I'm just sitting at home playing video games. It's going out and really trying to challenge and get past certain things. So are you, just to build upon this, because I happen to subscribe to the theory that adversity teaches strength. Would you agree with that? For sure. I think the best, you listen to all the really successful people, there's not many of them who have had it very easy. I mean, you look at the good old American President, Mr. Trump, his biggest thing was, I had to borrow a small loan of $1 million to get myself up off the ground. And you kind of look at it and go, geez, that's...
I wonder what $1 million was worth then now.
Oh, fuck, it'd be worth
6 billion yen, which is about $6, I think.
Yeah, but like, I get it. Some people, their challenges are a lot harder to others.
Yep.
Some people come up from absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. But I think as you go through it, you get the chance to really to push yourself and try and better yourself. And if you fail, that's when you learn some of your best things. Like, yes, if things work, you go, cool. I know that, but
the only time I will disagree with you on that, I failed a lot in high school and I didn't learn much.
Yeah, that is fair. However, a part of that though is how many of the teachers really gave a shit. Like,
or I don't want to name people because I got in trouble for episode 2 for that. but because she's not going to hear this, Mrs. O'Connell in year 10. I think the reason why she cared so much is because she was actually strict, but you could tell that she gave a shit. Like, you can actually tell. And then there was, Mr. C. We won't name him. Old mate, you know who I'm talking about. Dropping pens in front of girls' dresses, having a quick squeeze up. They're naughty boy.
Oh. Good times.
That's actually a true story too.
That is.
Yes.
Quite sadly.
Yes.
So there were definitely a few teachers out there that I had growing up that were fantastic.
Yeah.
And really pushed me compared to others.
Yep.
And there was also a few horrible ones that couldn't be bothered dealing with our shit, which is fair because we were cunts.
You mean like that time, James, that you were in, what was it? Oh my God, when you did an army roll. Oh my God.
I don't even know what class that was in, but I remember it as clear as that.
What was that fucking class that we had to like, it's like not robotics, but it was like that one where we're having to make cars or some shit, like with a program. I can't fucking remember. It was an elective that I brought in for like a year or two. I reckon that was what we were in.
I reckon it was.
And it was that old crabby bitch that you had as a teacher. And then she's like, and then you're just army crawling along the ground. And she's like, James, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm not here. And then she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, you can't see me. And then you just got up and walked out.
I almost apologised to half the teachers that I had because I was a dick of a kid. But at the same time, like, if the right guidelines were set, things would be a lot different. But again, it kind of comes back to if the teachers are willing to kind of put in that time, you get better results. But that comes from fucking up, learning, and then going. You don't just get there straight away. Like,
my biggest fuck up with a teacher, just throwing it out there, was one time I threw a rock at a teacher. It was a substitute teacher, and someone, he must have heard the rock hit him, near him, and he's come back and he's like, "You are going to be suspended, blah, blah, blah." And Lockie Hetherington, he actually pulled through for me and he goes, "Nah, mate." He was throwing it at me because I was giving him the finger or something like that, and he actually got me out of a suspension. Only time did you ever get suspended?
Yes,
I've never got suspended. I was always just like detentions and stuff, but never pushed that suspension line. I was lucky.
I had a few incidents, and most of the time it was with my mates. It wasn't even anyone else.
Of course, it's always the boys.
Yeah,
the fucking boys.
It was me and Camo. Getting into a fight one day, he stabbed me with a pencil, so I tried to stab him with a pen. And somehow,
well, that's an upgrade. That's only fair, isn't it?
Actually, sorry, other way around. He stabbed me with a pen. I tried to stab him with a pencil.
Oh, you've downgraded.
I did. And I was the one who got in trouble in the end.
Maybe it is an upgrade because of lead poisoning.
Yeah.
Could fuck him up.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, is it back to the question? So we're not on our tangent.
Back to the question. Yeah.
I think if you're not trying to better yourself, how happy could you actually be?
Sure.
Plain and simple.
Yep. Number 4, does life require a purpose and goal? I'm assuming I know the answer to that one already. Why or why not?
Definitely need goals to work with.
Purpose?
Yeah.
Purpose and goals?
Purpose is always great, but most people don't know their purpose. This is one of those tough things where if you ask someone straight out of school, what's going to be your purpose in life?
Yep.
I know myself. I had no fucking clue. I left school, not that I was good in school, as we kind of discussed, but I left school and went, what the fuck am I going to do with my life? Yep. I went into doing personal training, which I ended up finding out that I really didn't enjoy. And then it was only that I fell into the work I'm doing now, which we'll discuss later on, that I actually found a purpose.
It kind of works out like that, doesn't it? Like you fall into things that you don't expect in life and then you end up taking that route.
Yeah, for sure.
I've always, sometimes if you're like really high, I'll just say that. If you're really high sometimes, I will think about like life as like an RPG, and there's like, if you think of like branches, right? So every decision that you make every day, there's a potential branch that will branch off from a different branch, yes or no. Do I do this? Do I not do this? What am I thinking about? And if you get to the end of your life, there's this massive billions and trillions and zillions and yen of all these things that you get to at the end. And I've always been curious, like, the butterfly effect. Like, if one of those things changes, like, would everything change? Like, would your purpose change?
Of course, it would have to.
Yeah.
It's funny you use that example. We... with one of my other jobs that I used to work for, which I've recently moved away from.
Yep.
But one of the guys I used to work with, Kyle, he had a great philosophy for teaching some of the students that we had, which was a lot of the guys that we have would struggle in school. And his philosophy was, okay, what are you doing in the real world? How are you upgrading your character? It was very much
He's returned it back to a video game.
Because a lot of the guys that we had couldn't quite understand what we meant. A few of these guys were either on the spectrum or had a different mindset of the way they thought about things.
Yep.
And how he interacted with them. And his example was, well, you're playing your video game, you're playing, a lot of the guys were playing either your Skyrims or your Fallouts or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And would be enthralled in doing all that, but yet wouldn't go outside and talk to anyone. They couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And his whole philosophy was, well, how are you bettering yourself? How's your speech going? Are you actually leveling up, or are you still down at level 2?
I like that,
And it was a great way to look at it.
Oh, wow. That's actually cool, because it's taking, like you mentioned, like speech and stuff like that, and actually applying it to a person's speech.
Yep.
You're at level 2, let's get to level 3,
Yep.
so on and so forth. It's like a challenge and a goal. So, yeah, I agree with your answer. I do think that life requires purpose. I do think goal setting is important. I believe I've been told this or read somewhere that I can't remember the fucking number. Like, it's like 70% or something. Like, if you write down your goals, you're 70% more likely to achieve them.
I have heard that.
Something along those lines. I don't really know how to write anything but Mandarin, so,
Fuck.
I shouldn't say that now, should I? I could probably get bashed on the streets.
Nah, probably not at the moment. There wouldn't be that many people around, surely.
Meow. Rightio. Question 5. Apologies if you hear any clicking there also. I'm not on porn right now, but that's just the mouse coming through. And also, got a drink here. I don't give a fuck, James.
Yeah, well, whatever works for you, mate.
Does good and evil come from within? Why or why not?
See, I find this to be quite a tough question. We obviously had our chat yesterday, day before, whatever day it fucking was.
Yeah. And just before you answer, your answers, I was curious to see whether your answers would slightly change, even in a day, because, look, it is what it is. Like, these aren't questions that are like, yes, no. That's the whole fucking point about philosophical questions. But I must say you pretty much nailed it on the head with what you've said from 2 days ago. So
I've probably taken a bit back on it, to be fair. I had a bit more of a think and kind of, bringing up this question got me thinking.
So this is the one that you were a little bit
This is probably
more...
the one that I spent time on when I left, that I went, oh, okay.
Yep.
What my answer was yesterday is that you learn your habits mostly from your habitat, right?
So nature.
Yeah.
Versus nurture, nature. Yep.
I think, again, if you have a very caring environment, you'll naturally have the support in place to kind of better yourself and succeed that way. But as we discussed, there's also those people out there that can come from fantastic families, have a great upbringing, and then be serial killers. Like,
I literally was just listening to one before about a guy who was brought up like that, and he was a fucking serial killer.
Yep. So, it's crazy how that works, and they really got me thinking. Because I base it kind of off my experiences, obviously, same as everyone else who listens, and the way we discussed it yesterday. But I look at a few of the people that I work with, and you can see some of the negative behaviours and stuff like that behind it. And I guess what you're seeing with the way that they're brought up and the behaviours that they already have are kind of learnt behaviours, right? They're not just something that they instantly have.
Yep.
So I kind of go, well, it has to be kind of what you've learnt. But then there's those other people out there that really are. They're just bad people. So I'd almost...
Bad, naughty, smack.
But as I said, I think it is just one of those things that I think everyone is... I think just as much as it is your nurture... your nature and your nurture...
Yeah.
I think it's almost just life as it is. Like, I don't know if I could really, now, thinking about it, really tell you that it's one way or the other.
Yep. So, seems to be 50-50, you think?
Yeah. As I said, I really think it's closer, maybe probably 60-40.
Well, yeah, I as we discussed 2 days ago, and I'd mentioned that story about the man that had the... brain trauma. He had the brain tumour, sorry.
Yep.
And before he had the brain tumour, he was completely normal. And then he had the brain tumour, and then he was getting pedophilic thoughts.
Yep.
Which is my casual Tuesday. But he had these pedophile thoughts and stuff. And he ended up getting a tumour removed, and then all these thoughts and stuff went away. You know, it just goes to show how fucking complex the brain is, the human brain. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so now that they're answered, we can start to have a little chat about our topics. So we are rehashing, guys, just to repeat and rehash. Topic 1, which we spoke about a few days ago, we spoke about future goals and aspirations. I just wanted you to take the mic again and maybe talk about future goals and aspirations. Like I said, coming from the outside, I was a fly on the wall in terms of being a housemate for a while, but I'm not a fly on the wall all the time. From the outside, you seem to have things pretty pretty sorted. I'd think like a stable in terms of like your big three. So like, a general society's big three. You're the house, the partner, the stable job. Just want to talk about future goals in those aspects.
Yeah.
And any aspirations that you have?
So most of my future goals are probably working on myself related more than more than the home environment, I guess. I do have plans in regards to work. I want to try and better myself and learn some more new skills and push myself in a different environment.
Do you mind me asking, with related to that specifically, is it it's the same field?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So staying in the same field, whether it be, I'd like one day to open up my own organisation. That would be awesome. You can set everything the way you want it. You can work on really improving the kids based on my philosophies and my thoughts. And look, at the end of the day, I think it provides a bit more flexibility. That's what the whole NDIS coming in was bought in for, was the individuality.
Individuality. We
yes.
make up words, bitch.
Yes, we sure do.
Science, bitch.
But it is. It's so everyone's not getting the exact same service. It's like you. If I ever had to look after you, there'd be a big difference between how I look after you and how Steph looks after you.
Oh,
because she'd be making you do everything yourself.
Correct.
Going, bitch, get up and cook and clean for me. And I'd be sitting here going, you're right, mate. I can help you out. I can do it for you.
You know what? It's beautiful.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I'm going to, on air, dump Stephanie and gay marry you because it's 2020 and it's allowed now.
Yeah, well, why not? But as I said, it's kind of how everything's going now. It is pushing more towards that client-focused service. And not saying that we don't do it with the organisation I work for because they do a great job.
Yep.
But I think anytime you don't have as many overheads means you can give back more, which
of course.
I think
of course
would be a great way for me, to really do it.
As someone who I did mention a couple of days ago how we'd spoken about me moving into the fields and stuff like that. So I probably haven't asked this question though, with regards to the overheads. I assume that what happens is basically someone with disabilities on the NDIS gets a package of some description, and whatever the organisation is, whether that's yours that you currently work for or someone else, they would charge a specific rate per hour. They would have to add on things like admin fees and things like that, wouldn't they? So whereas if you were running your own shop, you wouldn't have to. Is that right? Or?
So you still probably charge out your admin fees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Your rate, you have a maximum you can charge. You don't have a minimum you can charge.
Yeah.
So the way that would work, don't get me wrong, people will probably always charge more to the back end of it.
Oh,
that's
of course.
just how life is.
Yeah, of course.
But I think it's where that money goes. Like your big organisations, I get it, there's a lot of people, but there's also a lot of wages you have to pay for by having such big organisations. So you have to pay for your CEOs, you have to pay for all your office staff, you have to pay for all of that. And
so wages,
yeah,
essentially.
The wages is probably your biggest one. Then you have, if you go out and get like facilities, right, you have to pay for those facilities that we have.
Yeah.
And then you've got to pay for all the stuff within the facilities. And when you're doing that for multiple different places, you get multiple different houses. You have to have a certain amount of income to meet those goals.
Yeah.
If I'm doing it by myself or within a small group of people, those wages and stuff will all kind of earn themselves out, and then you can put it towards your facility, right?
Yeah.
Everything else that comes back, you can use that for activities. You can use that to really give back to people and take them places without having to charge them an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Not saying that. not saying that. Yeah,
$55 for bowling today, mate. Thanks.
Yeah, but like these are the things. Like you have Look, I won't throw anyone out because I know everyone does it differently and how they view things differently. But I look at it and go, there's so much more we could give back to these families to help them that I think most bigger organisations not lose sight of, but it becomes you have to have it, otherwise it closes.
Is it not the same with every big company across the board with every type of work?
Yeah, 100%.
I would say, your small pop, nan and pop's going to pay more attention. You could use the classic milk bar versus supermarket.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
And that's what it kind of comes down to is that whole business model.
Yep.
But I think, especially with, again, I'll talk about it, with disability, we're here to help. We're not here to make money. We're not here to extort the system. We're not here to do anything like that. At the end of the day, people who get into disability, other than maybe a few rare ones, but everyone's there to want to help people.
Yeah.
I think...
it would almost be disrespectful to not.
Yeah, it is.
In a way, isn't it? Yeah.
You kind of get to a certain point where you're very limited, especially in small towns like this. You're very limited in what you can do.
Yeah.
So you need to have you need to be creative, and you almost have to give back in that. So I use some of the examples. So we have our holiday programs and stuff like that where we run specific stuff.
Yeah.
It might be bowling, it might be mini golf, it might be going down to the beach, it might be stuff like that.
Oh, not now. You'll get police battened.
Oi. But if you're doing that kind of stuff, that all is money coming in, money going out. If you could run a big, massive day, set up a couple of marquees and have some sort of event, right? Run a big event. I know the Greyhound track do a really good day where they put it on for the guys with disabilities. They can come in and watch it, and it's just them. Not open to the public. It's just them to do what they want for the day.
That's really cool.
Stuff like that is awesome, but as a big organisation, yes, you might have a big pool of money that can come in, but it's also something that you would have to cater for heaps and heaps of people. If you're something a bit smaller, maybe you could do that a bit more easier with your budget because you don't have as many overheads. You kind of can do that.
Yep.
But these are things I want to explore in the future for sure.
Sure. Well, first of all, the fucked up thing is that my head took me to a mental image of someone in a disability at the beach right now getting battened by a police officer. I don't know why my head does this, but my head does this, or getting spear tackled. Okay?
That's
but
great.
while we're on the topic of work, fuck it. We're tangent on the show, so I'll tangent out of here. I'm going to throw you in the fire. Because we're going to come back to your work, because I've actually got specific questions for you, which you've answered, but you'll re-answer because you're a good little boy.
Yep.
Are you going to get married and you're going to have kids?
Probably. Let's be realistic.
What was the
here.
answer the other day? Maybe. Don't know.
Look, again, more things to think about. Look, at the end of the day, it's kind of the same with every relationship. You don't get a choice. If you're the man, you don't have the choice. But that's... Every guy out there's thinking the exact same. Every woman out there's now just going, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Medusa stairs coming your way.
But look, at the end of the day, if we're happy and things are going the way you want it to, I don't see why I can't.
Yeah. I think
kids is something that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Being... that you work, like I work with kids pretty much every day, and you're working with the very challenging kids with their behaviours and stuff like that. I guess it makes you a little bit more wary of things, but look, there's a lot of good that comes from it all. It's just there can be some very tough behaviours that if I was dealing with that, like I look at some of the parents for these kids that I work with and go, wow, you guys are amazing. Like, seriously, like, there's not many people that could deal with the behaviours that some of these kids have day in, day out. And I take my hat off to those people because it is not an easy thing. Like, people kind of go, oh, yeah, kids are easy, kids are this, kids are that. But when you've got really, really tough behaviours that you need specialists and you need people there to really help you with it, and especially those people who are single parents. Like, that's
a single parent with a kid with disability.
It's got to be tough.
That's up there, isn't it? That's up there.
And I know a few of them, and they do such an amazing job that they don't get enough credit for what they do. And also grandparents helping out the kids and stuff like that. Like, there's so many out there that do amazing work at their home that just get overwhelmed. Like, it kind of comes down to that. Like, there's so much going on with these kids that they go, yep, you guys can go to the agency, get a bit of help, work on a few of their skills, but it also gives them a chance to just go, right, what am I doing this afternoon? I need to go get groceries. I need to go do that. Like, living with some of these kids, like taking them to the supermarket is a chore. Like, it is tough. Yeah. Like, we have to take some of them to the supermarket and go, holy shit, we can't. Like, and these are things that people do every day. And you go, fuck, we deal with them for a couple of hours. These people care for them their whole lives. Like, we're not... A lot of people look up to us and go, geez, you guys are amazing. You guys look after people. It's not us that are the amazing people, though. It's the families and the people who care for these kids around the clock 24/7 that are really the amazing people, because I couldn't do it. No way.
Yeah.
No way. Like, I do my best to care for everyone, and I like having the flexibility with different clients coming in and really having fun and making it as enjoyable for them as possible.
And also you're doing shift work as well, so you're not spending 24/7 with the kids. You might come in for a 3 hour or
that's it.
You might do a sleepover. You might do an 8 hour.
Yep.
Do you have any kids' names potential?
Yeah, depends on who you ask.
Only reason I ask that is because if I have a child, which we have spoken about and we do want children, the boy's name will be Craig. And why will it be named Craig? Because I want him to come out and be like, that's my son Craig. He's a 40-year-old man.
Yes, that would be delicious.
Or Barry.
Maybe you should have his first name as something ridiculous like Craig, and then have a good middle name.
Yeah.
And then he can just be called his middle name till he gets to like 30, and then he can be Craig.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea, yeah.
Because that doesn't work for most people.
Or just do it the reverse. Fuck him up.
You could.
Yeah.
You could.
We could name him something, like I was mentioning the other day, Greek names, like Apollo or something.
Yep.
But he's going to get bullied like fuck in school.
Till he learns how to box people.
Yeah, he's going to have to learn how to box.
He'll be angry as fuck because he'll be your child. And he'll start beating people up. And then he'll
boxing and listening to metal.
Then we'll have Corey come around and they'll get into full-on fights.
Oh, don't even mention him on this podcast. He's banned.
You're all right.
Don't even mention him. I want to fight that cunt so bad. Like, I just want to fucking fight that cunt.
I bet you he's down at the skate park right now.
Yeah, he's just ignoring the fucking coronavirus rules like a dog.
For sure.
Okay. Well, we did just chat about disabilities, but I do have some specific questions if you're willing to answer them.
Yeah, for sure.
Just want to know the pros and cons of working in the field.
Yeah, so obviously we've gone through it a bit, but the biggest pros to working in the field is being able to help people. It's really trying to show these kids the way, because what's the right way to say this?
There is none on here.
Yeah.
Yes, there is, because otherwise it'll get deleted.
Yeah. It's one of those things that the families need the support, right? It might be that their kid needs extra help with their social skills or stuff like that. We've got a couple of kids that I used to work with every week for 5 hours a week, 1 day a week.
Yeah.
We used to have them, and the growth that you saw within those kids with our strict rules and our way of doing things. Again, the way I do it would be completely different to the way you do it, but I noticed a huge difference with the way I was trying to make these kids behave, that you really noticed it when they went home. Their behaviours were different. They weren't as aggressive. They weren't as angry towards their families, and were able to help around the house, start to do jobs, all because, well, the guys that I look up to, in their case, they look up to us because we're older. We're there to try and help them. So they do. They look at us and go, well, you're my role model. I want to be like you. If they see, like myself or you, Steve, going and doing things and at the drop of the hat go, yeah, that's cool, I'm happy to do that. They go, oh, maybe I need to be more like that. So being able to affect their lives is probably the biggest one, and be able to give back to people that need the help and aren't afraid to ask for it. Because, again, that's another thing that we haven't discussed is how hard it must be for some people to ask for help with their kids.
Yeah. Sorry, kids with disabilities or just
even in general?
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's got to be a lot harder for kids with disabilities because their behaviours are so much more full on. Not all of them, don't get me wrong, not all, but I hate asking for help doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll struggle and almost break my back doing shit just so I don't have to ask for help.
So if you're on your 9th wank of the day, you'll just push it?
Yes.
It's beautiful.
But it's one of those things that as you're trying to help people, you're strengthening yourself as well, because you're learning how to help these kids in a way that you would never have thought of. There's times where you get really, really tough kids that you can't just talk to the normal way me and you would. And you want to help these kids enjoy themselves, right? One of the kids in particular that we have is nonverbal. He is low ID and has heavy autism.
Sorry, what's low ID?
Intellectual disability.
Oh,
He's got a low-level intellectual disability. So his motor functions and skills are not great. And he is a pain in the butt. He's a nice kid, but he loves to shit stir everyone else because that's how he gets his attention, because he needs that to thrive.
Yeah.
So we've had to be very creative in different ways to try and get him to be more engaging and limit those behaviours. But you also have times where you have other kids in groups especially, and he might get not forgotten, but you might be worrying about one of the other kids because he's running around doing something really stupid, and there's another kid who's not doing anything bad, he's just shit stirring.
Yeah.
We'll be over there and he's not getting forgotten about, but he's not getting the interaction he needs. This is why I'm a big fan, especially when they're younger, of doing more one-on-one work. Your one-on-ones are where a lot of the growth, I believe, happens. Once they get to a level where they can learn how to interact with others, being in groups is phenomenal. Like, great. But until then, if they're not at that level, they should be getting that one-on-one care they need.
Yep.
Unfortunately, when you're doing all the NDIS stuff, they don't see that as much. They go, oh, they're already at that level. But most of them aren't. So, yeah, the pros are definitely helping and making people's lives better at the end of the day. The cons are you have to deal with all the shit behaviours.
Yep.
You have to do things that some people would never do, like changing nappies, showering people, shit like that is very hands-on, that can be very very confronting.
While I'm speaking of this, you can kind of answer question 3 in a way, because it's a con is that some behaviours are difficult. Do you have any particular stories or behaviours that you've noticed that will make people be like, wow, like I didn't realise, that could be the case?
We had a young lad that was taken into foster care because his behaviours were too extreme.
Yep.
Also other factors, but yeah. When he first got to us, he would be extremely aggressive. He would be trying to hit, punch, carry on. There were times where he tried to stab me with a knife.
Wow.
It was quite intimidating. There were times he'd just walk in, shit on the floor, just cause.
Yep. Wow. This is giving me great ideas.
It's not all good. Like, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good clients we work with.
Yeah.
But it's going to sound silly, but those ones that have the challenging behaviours that are really harder to work with have been the better ones to work with, because you see the massive amount of growth.
Yeah, you're flipping them.
It's been quite sad. We've had one of the guys who, it was actually the same one I'm thinking of, has had he was having a lot of support with us. He was with us every weekend. He got taken into a foster care home because his behaviour got that good that he was able to get one of the foster people took him on, which when we first got him, there's no way that would have been the case. He would have been in the system for as long as you could imagine.
Yep.
He was...
And that wouldn't do good things, would it?
No. The system itself is very broken, but it has its benefits, but it is a broken system.
Sure.
But with a lot of strict guidelines and really working hard on this kid's behaviours, we got him to a point where he was able to go into a foster family.
Yep.
He was doing quite well. He was able to start going to school, which he wasn't doing when he first came. When he first came to us. He wasn't at school, hadn't been for quite a while. So we got him into a school and he started actually being able to behave in school. And then it's funny, they end up moving away. And then from there, ended up getting in with the wrong people and now has ended up being arrested and could end up going to prison.
Oh, right.
Which is it's not a good story, but these are some of the kids that we work with. Like, it's not all the kids, but there are certain ones out there that you look at and you go, well, they have the mental capacity to do it. There's the mix of the disability and then there's the trauma from their previous experiences. If we can help these kids get past that, then we've actually changed their life. Like, we're not just helping these kids be better. Like this one in particular, we had changed him completely. It was just unfortunate that when they moved, they didn't have the support behind them to keep those boundaries in place to help him. And without those boundaries, a lot of people do struggle.
Yeah. Obviously, disability has its certain classifications, autism spectrum and things like that. I'm just curious, if you're a Collingwood supporter, are you technically disabled?
Yeah, probably. Probably. No, look, I think Collingwood Cup's a bad rap there. I mean,
we're not biggest. Oh well, I still follow the footy. You're not a fan anymore.
No, I haven't watched it really. I'll watch the occasional game here and there. I don't even watch the grand final.
Yeah,
it's actually great because most people that I work with want to watch the grand final.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there going, I'll gladly work the grand final day. I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
So that's another easy day for me to work. And then for the kids, if they want to watch it, we can put it on TV and that's their shift. They're watching the footy. We might go down somewhere where they have it on a big screen or something like that. And then,
Beautiful. You pretty much answered all the questions there, mate. The only other thing is maybe a quick minute or two just on this one. Do any of the people that have like a similar disability share a trait between people?
Yeah, look, they definitely can. You've kind of got your different groups of disabilities that have very similar traits. They do. Like, you can't handle them all the same because everyone's different. But I like to use one of the groups that... the example of one of the groups that I used to work with, right? They were all Asperger's kids, so high-functioning autistics, which I've got some good friends who are highly... Aspie guys, even outside of work, that is a whole different scenario. So their whole issue is usually the social cues. They don't understand any of the social cues.
Yeah.
They don't know how to talk and have a proper conversation. They don't know how to really go through and build up a proper conversation.
Or they'll say things. I won't mention names, but I know someone that has Asperger's that some funny little stories about like, in social situations where they'll say something loud that you're just like, you can't say that. Like, it'll be like, I don't know, like, fuck it out loud or something like that. And you're just like, they're joking. Yeah. Obviously they're joking, but they don't realise that, like, in a home like environment, you could joke about that. Well, actually, technically, I think you can joke about anything. But
I think you should be able to joke about everything everywhere. You just have to be cautious of who you're around.
Yeah. But like social I'm trying to, it's hard to explain, but like socially, just like certain things that you can pick up on that you're like, that's that.
Yep. Yeah, they miss all the social cues.
Yep. I just imagine a person with Asperger's on the dance floor at the gallery or something, dancing with some chick, and she's just like all over him, and he's just like got no idea, and he's just like, I'm going to go home and play video games.
Yep, probably. I can think of a couple. Again, I've got multiple mates, so I'm not going to single any of them out.
Yeah.
But one of the ones that I know, he misses social cues so badly. There'll be times where people are really, really pissed off because he's just hasn't thought about things.
Yeah.
He's gone point A, point B, go. In between.
It's like a dog, just like, go.
Yep. He's missed all the social cues. Oh, I've hit the mic. Done well. He's missed all the social cues from point A to point B, and they've just completely cracked the shits with him.
Yeah.
And he has no idea why.
Yeah.
It's quite tough, though, because
I
see all these things.
Sarcasm as well?
Yeah, don't get sarcasm. I'm going to single one of my mates out now.
Yeah.
One of the guys that I actually live with.
Yeah.
He's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And there's times where me and my partner are full on talking shit to each other.
Yeah. Just roasting.
Yep.
Just roasting with the boys. But it's a boy and a girl, but we'll just say the boys.
Yep. And he full on thinks we're fighting and arguing. Like he's stressing out like crazy. Like, are you guys okay? Like. And I'm like, dude, it's all good. We're just joking around. He goes, oh, okay. I wasn't quite sure. I'm like, that's okay. You'll just notice and you'll get to learn it. So and he's still struggling. Like, he is still struggling with it.
This is your new housemate, right?
Yeah.
Well, at least you've gone from a chronic masturbator to that.
Yeah.
So that's an upgrade.
Yeah, look, he's much better at being reliable.
He's like, no, he's much better. Yep. That's it.
You're done. You're dead to me, Steve.
Beautiful.
But yeah, as I said, these guys are fantastic people, but do need that help. They're the guys that I really like to work with because they have such amazing personalities that are happy to work on their skills, but just don't know. They don't know any different. So it's great to get them in. And what I like to do, and it might not be the best way of doing it, and it might be the best way, is I'll roast them. I will full on just talk shit to them, be as silly as I can, and they slowly get to understand different sounds that I might make, different wording, different everything. And
phrasing.
Without putting them in that scenario, they would never understand. But I'll turn around and be like, you suck. We're bowling, right? They missed a pin. You suck, mate. What are you doing? Same as you would with your own mates just talking shit.
Yeah.
Thing is, they would take it very literally.
Yeah.
So I use that as an opportunity to go, so that there, you don't suck. You're kicking my ass, so you can't be too bad.
Yeah.
But they're the times where, with your mate, you have that social interaction that is what you would call normal.
Yeah.
When you're with your friends, these are things that they may say to you that you just don't get and might get angry about. So when you can give them proper examples in real time, they actually appreciate it. Yeah. You're not having to go at anyone. You're not trying to put them down or anything stupid like that. It would be...
You're not trying to beat them up with a baton?
No.
On the beach?
No, not on the beach. just in the street. You shouldn't be here. But these are things that a lot of people overlook. You kind of treat guys with disabilities, especially the stigma that's there. You treat them like they're dumb and that you wouldn't treat them how you would treat everyone else. If I went down, and it'd be the same with you, with your work colleagues, right? You would sit there and you would give them so much shit, especially in the trades. Like the trades are where pranks and shit happen probably the most.
Yeah, of course.
The way you would talk to those people that you work with versus the way I talk to the people I work with is the exact same. Yeah. I would give them as much shit as I can because at the end of the day, they want that rapport. They want to know that they're somebody. You're not just there because you have to be.
Yeah.
You don't go in and treat people differently because of it. Like if I walk down the street and again, the more you work in the industry, you pick up a lot of the cues and a lot of different things. You go down, there might be someone just walking down the street and you might turn around. I notice people doing it, people I hang out with. They go, oh, he's a bit weird. I turn around and go, oh, he's probably just a disability guy. I walk up, how you doing, cobber? And he's like full on chatting away to me and she goes, oh, did you know him? I'm like, no. I'm like, well, These are things that you can do. You've now made that guy's day.
Yeah.
Because he'll tell everyone he's spoken to that he cares about, that he can trust. He'll turn around and say, oh, this guy spoke to me in the street, never met him, but he was awesome. They're things that we overlook every single day, that you can make a difference. Like, there's no reason why we couldn't do it with everyone. Walk down the street and say, oh, geez, how you doing? To this lady.
Bradley.
Yeah. So say to a lady, oh, I really like your dress, or something like that. And they're things that make people feel better, but we don't do
compliments that we don't do.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you're playing mini golf and I don't know who you are, and I come up and I go, hey, you want to make this putt, jackass?
There'd be people that would take that the right way, and there'd be people that take that the wrong way.
No, literally, you're not going to make this putt.
Yeah, no.
You suck.
It'd be definitely a 2-putt. I've played that much mini golf through work.
Yeah.
I can get an average of 2 for every hole.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've got days, I think my lowest score there's like 33 or 34 or something stupid like that.
That's not bad at all.
Which, yeah, real good day.
Yeah.
But usually it's terrible.
Yeah. But then again, and this is not putting down that accomplishment, but as you would know, the fucking Warrnambool course compared to, what's the fucking hard one out at, is it not Mount Gambier? Halls Gap.
Yeah.
Oh, Carnival course.
Yeah.
Absolute Carnival course.
Yep.
That is the George Powell of courses.
Wow. I don't know if we can use that comment here.
Yes, we can. That's a hot take. Hot. Old boy Powell finds out next week if his appeal goes through.
Still not enough holes for his liking, and they're all under 18.
Yeah, correct. Oh,
Bang.
Zing.
Okay.
That was a zinging with cheese, that one.
Oy.
Cheese and bacon.
All right.
Topic number 3, growing up. Oh, this is, sorry. Shouldn't have read that so fast. This is a new one. I'm throwing a curveball at you. Just wanted to quickly talk about, I know that you're an only child. So I just wanted to talk about growing up as an only child and growing up in the country versus the city.
Yeah.
If you think there's a difference, like big difference between those two.
First of all, growing up as an only child makes a big difference. It really does. And especially if you're out country, I think if you're an only child out country, your social skills are naturally behind. Something that I noticed looking back now from where I was I probably wasn't as developed as what I am now. Not saying that I'm great now, but there were times where I didn't quite get it. I try, but you don't have people to kind of bounce off. Being an only child as well is that I spent a lot of time by myself because mum would be at work or things like that.
Yeah. I'm the same. Like I'm not an only child now. Obviously, I've got a younger brother, but he didn't come into the picture till I was nearly 15 years old. Yeah. So technically growing up as an only child was the same thing. Yeah. Similar situation, mums. Yep. No father.
Yep.
Both fathers out getting packs of cigarettes and they've never come back.
That's it. That's exactly it.
But yeah, I've got some friends that live in the city that came down to visit me that they'd never been to the country before, and they're fucking just amazed that I'm living on a farm like at my parents'. They're just like, oh my God, you've got cattle? Like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, they're not metal machines. They're actual fucking animals, bro.
They think it's Red Dead Redemption, mate. Where's your horse? Have you got a bandana with a few guns? No, it's very different. I had a few mates that, again, from the city as well.
Yeah.
And spending time with them, they're so out there. Like...
As in socially?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people, they just go out. They're just like, oh, well, this is just what it is.
Yeah.
Whereas I go into a group of, like, if I go up to, it's not so bad now, I've gotten used to Geelong, but if I go up to Melbourne, I'm still, like, way over my head with people-wise, like...
Yeah.
It does my head in.
I hate being in the big city. Overseas, the places I've travelled to, probably because it is a new thing, it's a fresh thing, I'm only going to be there for a day or two.
Yep.
It's different. Obviously, you've been to Melbourne fucking 5 billion times. There's the thing that I think the city has over the country for sure is more opportunity for social activities.
Yeah,
like
for
you just
sure.
mentioned. If I was living in the city, I'm sure I'd attend more concerts. Obviously I try and spend as much time getting to gigs and stuff like that, but it'd obviously be fucking easier if you're a tram ride away to go to concerts, to go to football,
Yep.
events of any kind. Yeah, so there's that side of things. But I personally have loved growing up in the country, and it's not super country, we're
look-
suburban or whatever or urban, whatever,
Yep.
whatever. But
The old GDA store.
yeah,
The
wait,
old
what?
Suburban.
Is that suburban?
Suburban.
Oh yeah,
That was the
urban means black, doesn't it?
fucked fine. Though.
Oh shit, I'm racist on here too. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, look, I think growing up where we did, we had a lot of advantages in some ways and a lot of disadvantages in other. I wouldn't change it. I think for me, I would probably move to maybe Geelong. That'd be as close to big city living as I'd want to be.
Yep.
I couldn't do Melbourne, not a chance.
I just think it's a great opportunity to bring children up in a country place compared to city. You're taking them to schools that might be a country school. You went to Croy, I went to Woolthorpe, so we both had that opportunity and I think, I don't see a lot of people say that. Well, actually, I don't know what a lot of people say because I don't listen. I actually don't know what's more important, your teenage years or your growing up developmentally. I don't know. But either way, if you're in an opportunity where you can be in the country in primary school during those developmental years, you get more attention.
Oh, for sure.
Because there's not 30 kids in a room.
Yep.
There might be 18 or 20 or even less in some real small country towns. The only other flip side to it is that they don't have as many teacher selections.
Yes, that's very true as well. I think that's probably, you've almost hit the nail on the head. There's teachers that I had through primary school that I still remember now were amazing teachers, right?
Yep.
But I also, being able to, we go to a lot of the schools with my old job, we go to a lot of the schools and get to see, and half the teachers that taught me in primary school are still actually teaching. Like, that's how old I feel right now. But you almost get a sense that there is a lot less, not quality, but consistency with the teachers you're getting out in the country. You might get them a bit all over the shop versus a very strict way of doing things that they've been taught if they were coming straight from uni in the city versus the way they'd be teaching out here. It'd be because you're not teaching to mass, you're teaching more for individualised people.
Wait, did you say mass or maths?
Mass.
So double S?
Yes.
Okay.
You're not teaching heaps of people, you're just teaching a couple of kids here and there, especially, like, I use maybe Panmure. Their whole school only has maybe 100 people.
Yeah.
Like-
Woolthorpe, my time there was, around 100, 120, something like that. And you're looking at pretty much 20 kids per year level.
Yep.
And, at schools that are like JAMA or something like that, like the big ones, or East Womble or whatever,
shitloads.
you're fucking looking at 6 different forms.
Yeah.
It's like high school.
Yep. Yeah, no, crazy. We do a program where...
Through work, sorry?
Yeah, where we go around to all the local government-funded schools. And we got to go into a lot of them, sorry. And when I said Panmure had 100, they might have like 50.
Oh, right.
Like they're...
Less than that. Yeah.
They're struggling with numbers. But...
sounds like Panmure footy, struggling for numbers. They bring in Paddy Mead, superstar.
Jesus, what a recruit.
And just going to throw it out there, Chris Marnie, who's listening to this right now. Christopher, former best and fairest player for Panmure. Well done, mate.
It's a shame he's no good at fantasy football, though. He really should spend... spend less time listening to this and more time studying his fantasy football.
Correct. Absolute joke of a human.
But no.
At fantasy football.
Yes, definitely at fantasy
and
football.
also everything else.
I wonder if we can get P. Mead to join in on fantasy football. Imagine that.
Jesus Christ. Do you have North Melbourne players only? Because he doesn't know anything about America.
He doesn't know anything about football in general, so surely he'd be perfect for our league.
Yes. He's the taco of the league for sure.
Oh,
Delicious.
yeah, he would be, for sure.
All right. Just having a quick look at the time here. We've got about 25 minutes left, so we probably should jump into our final topic. The other day we did have a little chat about UFC, old school versus new school, just because you had, obviously we both follow mixed martial arts, UFC. Your time growing up during your time that you watched it mainly was old school. Mine's now.
Yep.
But that's fine. We can either leave that for another time or anything like that.
Yeah, you can always do that.
So if anyone's listening, this is no disrespect to James or anyone at all, but if you aren't interested in NFL, I'd probably stop the podcast here. If you are, we're about to do we'll do some NFL questions, and we're also going to go through the first round of the draft. And yeah, we might in future even do something along the lines of NFL. We'll see.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
I'd like that. But
yes, James actually brought that up the other day. So, okay, so let's start. NFL. Who's going to win next year's Super Bowl, Reedy? I'm going to give you 3 cracks at it. I'm going to let you have a top contender. So right now we're just on Sportsbet at the moment, looking at the top 8. Top 32. Try again. Not editing. A top contender, so in the top 8, a mid-range contender from 8 to 16, and then a long-range dark horse from 16 to 32. So,
just so you're aware, I am going with my 16. That's actually 17 because
that's fine.
I've already decided what I'm doing there.
Yep. So, top contender, who's going to win the Super Bowl this year? Once again, the analogy, I hate it, gun against your head because, you know.
A top contender, the most obvious one has to be the Chiefs. It just has to be. You got Patrick Mahomes that can win games by himself.
Yep.
Like, it's phenomenal, the arm talent that he has.
I have arm talent too, but not NFL
Yours
arm
is
talent.
what, maybe 5 inches?
Or it's just forearm grip strength, really.
Good times. No, as I said, what he can do is just phenomenal. So I'd have to say they'd be probably the favourites.
Yeah. I believe they are the favourites.
Yeah, I think they are.
Obviously they won this year.
Yeah.
My top contender, Ravens.
Yep.
I feel like Lamar's going to just develop again this year, his game. Look, teams are probably going to get better at defending against Lamar this year. Watching tape on the teams that did defend well, possibly.
It's hard though, because you have a look at the transitions previously, right? You've had your Tim Tebows and you guys like that. Lamar is just so different. He isn't your big, thick runner, just run through people with good speed. He has electric speed.
Yeah, he's fast as fuck. He could be a running back in the league.
Yeah. He'd be quicker than probably 90% of the people that have played the game.
Yep.
Like, he said in an interview that he would have run probably under 4.3.
Yep.
Which, if you notice football, that is phenomenally fast. I think there's only been 10 people that have run under a 4.3 in combine since early 2000s.
Did he run at the combine?
No, he didn't. He hasn't run anywhere.
Right.
He didn't want to be pigeonholed because that was the time where they thought he'd be a receiver.
They didn't want him to think, and he's obviously proved it with his arm as well.
He's got a good arm. Like, my comparison, even coming out, was Michael Vick. Mm-hmm. And it was the whip that he throws with his wrist. That was, like, he obviously had the running ability, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But he has the ability to throw a long ball and a really good ball. He just needs to work on his throwing skills.
Josh Allen much?
Josh Allen's more your Tim Tebow-esque, but has an arm instead of can only throw 5 meters.
Yeah. But the only thing is that, he misses those deep balls. But
he's actually, Allen's good comparison, I was reading the other day, was Cam Newton.
Oh, yep.
That is his comparison. He likes to dink and dunk a lot and run himself.
Yeah.
His deep ball, he's got the arm for it, but not just doesn't work enough.
He just overthrows the fuck out of it too much. It's almost like too much strength.
Yeah.
Like he's overcompensating because he feels like he doesn't want to throw a pick.
Yeah, I think that's... he hasn't just got the timing down with his receivers.
Yeah.
And he needs to flight the ball up that little bit more just to try and get to hang a bit more for people to run into.
I actually think it could be due to the fact that he hasn't had in his first year, this is his third year.
Yeah.
So in his, obviously last year he had better receivers with John Brown and stuff like that. But
even then, I wouldn't say they're great receivers. They're just quick and...
just better than the first years.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that maybe he hasn't built the rapport with the receivers. Maybe he doesn't quite trust them enough to get separation to be able to throw a potential, not underthrow, but you know what I mean, like drag that back 5 yards. Because they can go up, you know, the elite guys, if there's a bad throw, the elite guys can still go back and cut back and get those grabs.
Yeah, for sure. I think the other big thing that doesn't get taken into consideration enough with him is that when he was drafted, he'd only played like 5 years of football ever before he got drafted. And then got drafted to a team that was one of the worst offensive teams in the league, talent-wise. Like, they didn't have anything when he got drafted. And then you've got a few pieces being put around him now, but he still hasn't quite learnt how to... Like, you look at Big Ben, right? Big Ben, through his whole career, has had elite wide receivers with him trying to tell him, right, you throw the ball here, I will catch it. These receivers, I don't feel are at that level that they're just trying to catch up to where he throws it. They're not saying, you need to place the ball here, I will be here on your fifth step.
Yeah.
I think if you had someone like that, I think Diggs will be fantastic for him. He'll be trying to put him a lot more on timing more than just pure arm talent.
Yeah.
Because that was something he did struggle with, was his timing on throws. It'll be interesting to see if he can get that way this year. I think if he can get the timing down, he's got sky's the limit. Like, it really is. But there's a lot of people that overdo arm talent. Like, I actually saw a very interesting stat, which I'm going to bring up. I know we don't have a lot of time.
Yep.
We all think of Patrick Mahomes as having probably the best arm in football, right?
Yep.
Have a guess what his velocity that he throws at, like when they had the combine.
Is that miles per hour?
Yep.
Wouldn't even know.
So...
what's the average?
The average is around that 50... you pretty much... Your marks are from 50.
Yeah.
Anything under 50 is pretty much undraftable. That's real low.
Yeah.
55's probably the standard.
Yeah. So is this how fast it goes, like your measurables?
Yep. So this is...
So like when you're measuring a cricket ball...
I assume this must be maybe your 10 feet throws, maybe 15 feet throws.
Yeah.
And it's based off your speed gun. And literally they're just throwing... And you're testing it.
Yeah.
And they're throwing as hard as they can.
High 70s?
No. So you've got probably your 65, I think, is the highest ever. And that's like top end.
Yep.
Have a guess where he would be. This is when he got drafted, mind you.
Low 70s.
Huh? No. So he actually had a speed of 54 miles per hour. He is less than most of the quarterbacks that are currently starting in the NFL.
Really?
I found that phenomenal because of how powerful his arm is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just a bad speed test rating or what, but that's what he actually got clocked.
Yeah.
In comparison,
that's the trouble though. You could. It's on the day, isn't it?
It is.
You know?
But you also look at it like Baker Mayfield, 61.
Yep. No way Baker throws faster than Mahomes.
But this is the thing. Like, this is where you look at it and go, maybe he's not zipping the ball as much. He's getting a bit more flight in his throwing motions.
Yeah.
Like, even when he's throwing hard, like you say, throw me the ball hard, and you're like, oh yeah, cool. And you kind of just throw it natural.
Yeah.
You try and throw it hard, but you're not trying to overdo it so people drop the ball. Mm-hmm. You see it a lot of times. They actually say Baker has one of the tightest spirals in the NFL.
Tight like a tiger.
And because of the way he throws, a lot of the times it hits the hands with such velocity, it actually bounces off. He doesn't have enough touch on some of his throws. It's one of his actual big problems. But yeah, I found that really interesting with Mahomes, that everyone says how good his arm is, but you watch a lot of him, he lets his receivers go do a lot of the work for him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy when you got Tyreek Hill, who's a speed demon, who runs like a cocaine.
Do you know who else is a speed demon? Corey Barnett.
I thought he wasn't mentioned here.
Oh, I can only mention him if I'm putting him down.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, mid-range. We've got about 15 minutes, so we're probably going to have to shoot through this pretty quick.
That's all.
Mid-range contender?
Yeah, so mid-range contender would have to be the Browns. I love their team on offense. Their defense is questionable. There's a few bits. Mostly it's stacked with big names. It needs a little, probably, bit of depth through the draft. But if Baker can show with a proper head coach, can actually play his best back like what they had at Ohio.
Yep.
And can stop with the turnover bullshit, they'll be sky's the limit.
I actually, my mid-range is actually you guys too.
Yep.
Dark horse. So we've got a couple of different ones here. I'll just shoot mine out and don't really give too much explanation. Yep. Cardinals, just because of the things they've picked up on the off-season. Kyler Murray seems to be pretty well established. He'll get better.
It's funny you say that. I've actually got them as... I had two teams for my wild cards.
Yep.
They were actually one of them.
Yep. And the other one's the Falcons. I don't know why. They're one of those teams that kind of like out of nowhere will just be really good.
Yep.
Matt Ryan's always good. So
I think having Gurley, a lot of their team relies a lot on play action. Like, so much on the play action.
Yep.
Devontae Freeman obviously has been injured for the last couple of years and has gone to shit. He was horrible. He was horrible last year.
They had Edo Smith or whatever.
Yeah,
but,
and he's not good.
Yeah.
Like, really, he's not. He's a good secondary back and can catch the ball a bit. But as a pure runner, teams aren't worried about him.
Yep.
With Todd Gurley coming in, that actually is a good sneaky one because he could go back to being his elite form. And if that's the case, their team is going to be so dangerous because you can just imagine. Like
on offense, they'll be fucking...
I think for fantasy football...
I just got a feeling
it's a
that...
good one to have.
Because I was looking at the draft, that Cavon... the edge rusher guy, Chavon or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, Layson or whatever. Yeah. Almost every mock draft has him going to the Falcons at 16 or 18 or whatever they got picked.
Yep.
If they can pick him up and he's fucking good, then, you know, their defense isn't shocking.
It's not good, but let's face it, they've never relied on their defense.
No.
Their defense is solid enough, and if people can stop getting injured in their team, like, they've got some good pieces on their defense. They just keep getting injured.
Yep.
So,
sorry, who's your dark horse?
My dark horse is the Broncos. Yep. I like their defense and having Drew Lock in there, who is a young Patrick Mahomes type quarterback. I don't think you can go wrong.
Beautiful. Who's going to win league MVP?
Mahomes.
I'm going to go with Mahomes as well, actually. Dark horse for MVP?
My dark horse would be Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with Christian McCaffrey as my dark horse, just because I know we spoke about it, and he won't be on a great team. We'll see. That's why he's a dark horse.
For me, Stafford's just got it there. He had the stats before he got injured. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again for those who actually care. But he led the league in most passing yards, passing touchdowns, was, I think, third in touchdown interception ratio, and had the highest quarterback passing rating for that part of the season. He was smashing it. So, and they were winning. Like, this is the other thing that you don't think of with the Lions. Like,
winning? What?
They were actually winning. And I think, if he comes back and is anywhere near as good and they get some good pieces on defense to help them out in the draft, sky's the limit for them as well.
Beautiful. And who will win Rookie of the Year?
That's an easy one. Jonathan Taylor.
Running back?
He will be...
Do you think it depends on where he goes, though?
I think it will definitely depend on where he goes. The same as everyone, though. But I think a running back that talented, I hate it. The experts and the media have talked him down. He's the only player in FBS history, so Div 1 colleges, to have ever had over 6,000 rushing yards in 3 seasons. The only player.
Ever.
He's averaged 2,000 every year he played. If that's not ready-made, and then he come to the combine and absolutely dominated, and they're like, he's a bit stiff. He ran a 4.39, and his agile drills were still better than most. And it's just because you've got a couple of really good guys that are super agile in this group. He's not overly agile, but he will be a ready-made player. Like, I don't know what he's paying. I haven't had a look on Sportsbet, but I'm going to be putting it on him.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put $50 on him.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be thanking whoever gives me my money.
Maybe you should wait until see what team he goes to.
It's probably a great idea.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'd almost be doing it now because the money that is there, like,
It
there's not
might
many
change.
teams that
It
are
might
going to...
change, yeah. If he goes to an elite team, his money might drop for the Rookie of the Year.
That's it. I doubt it's ever going to get any higher than probably what it is now because of the question marks. And he's not... A team that needs a running back will not draft him.
Yep.
You wouldn't bother getting a guy that high up in the draft because he'll go, I think he'll sneak in the first round.
Yep.
He's someone that I think will sneak in the first round. But, yeah.
I'm going to go Rookie of the Year, obvious one, Chase Young.
Yep.
I think he's going to go to the Redskins at 2.
Yep.
And I think they've got a quietly good defense.
Yep.
Young pieces, because they've obviously not been great for the last few years. They've picked up pretty high draft picks, and because of that, they've spent it on defense.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess we can start the draft. We'll probably do. We've got 10 minutes. So what do you reckon?
I can probably extend it out a little bit. Maybe 10 past. So give us 20 minutes.
All right, no worries. We'll do the 15 then.
Yeah,
we'll
try to anyway.
We'll try. All right. So just bring out mock draft, guys. Rightio. So we're going to answer our top 15 draft picks, who we believe the teams will choose, and who we believe the teams should choose. So who they will choose is what we believe. Yeah, as I said, what we think they will, and obviously personal bias with what we think we should. So we'll start off with pick 1, James. Who do the Bengals? Now, sorry, we were mentioning trades before.
Yep.
How did you explain it before?
So what I've got my lists. I've got on the way I'm looking at it is on the left hand side is a should.
Yep.
So I'll give you a quick explanation on why they should do it.
Yep.
And why they will do it.
Yep.
I'll leave the will until afterwards, so we have our set list.
Yep.
Coming up.
So which one will include trades?
The should.
Right. I'll keep it that way as well.
Yep.
Yep.
So pick number 1, I think you, as the Bengals, obviously,
Yep.
are picking.
So what will they do?
No, I'll go what they should do, and then what they will do.
Right. Okay.
They should probably just keep the pick and take Joe Burrow because he broke all the records. He looks quite good. He fits kind of what they want.
Yep.
However, if they can, I think they should also try and look to trade the pick for an abundance of picks.
And just quickly, what do you do with Andy Dalton?
Andy Dalton, you trade him to whoever the hell wants him.
Yep.
Because they've already said that...
Who the hell wants him?
Well, I think
Bears?
Patriots would be a good one.
Patriots?
I think Patriots would be a good one. I actually like me personally, I think the Jags could be in the Andy Dalton market.
Oh, yeah.
I like that fit as well. So
Yep. And what will they do? Yeah.
I think they will take Joe
the same
Burrow.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, we may as well fucking skip pick 1 because I believe the same thing.
Yep.
What they will do, what they should do.
Yep.
Although I will say just quickly, what they should do, maybe if there's a king's ransom for pick 1, look into it.
Oh, for sure. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Pick 2, we've got Washington. What do you think they should do, James?
I think that if it was me, I'd be looking at taking Chase Young.
Yep.
There's a lot of other people they probably could take. They probably need a corner now because they got rid of Norman there. They probably need someone else there that at least can try and start. But I think anytime you get a pass rusher that's this athletically gifted, I think you should do it. However, what I think they will do is actually go Isaiah Simmons, the linebacker safety hybrid.
Yeah.
Ron Rivera, their new head coach of the Redskins, had Luke Kuechly for so many years.
So he had basically the best linebacker in the game.
Yeah, and he knew how to use him. He knew and how smart he was. Apparently, Isaiah Simmons is extremely smart as well. It's not just football ability; it's the
He's
skills
got the IQ
behind
there,
it.
Football IQ. Yep.
I think they will take him. I wouldn't be upset if I wouldn't say that they shouldn't take him. Isaiah Simmons, that is.
Yep.
But I think that's what they will do.
Beautiful. I'm going to go. What they should do is take Chase Young. Basically, the reasons that you just said. What they will do is take Chase Young. So I'm pretty cruisy on this end.
Yep, lovely.
Number 3, the Lions.
So,
What should they do?
obviously, the way it's fallen now, based on my projections, is that Chase Young will still be there. They need a pass rusher extremely badly. They haven't had one in God knows how long. They overpaid Trey Flowers like way too much to go and play for him. So their obvious one would be to take Chase Young because he fell.
Yep.
However, I would also look to trade the pick if possible because there'll be a few teams that'll want to go up for a quarterback.
Yeah, because there's 2 quarterback. Then teams are going to be like, ooh, and then they're going to jump up want to jump up to third, aren't they?
I can see 4 teams. This is my opinion. I can see 4 teams in the top 15
that would want to jump
up for a quarterback.
Who are they?
So you got the
Chargers?
Dolphins.
Dolphins?
Yep. Dolphins, Chargers, the Jags.
Yep.
Because unless they're really set with Garner Minshew.
Yep.
Yeah. And the Raiders. The Raiders are the underdog pick because they clearly don't like Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Which is stupid. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute.
Yeah.
But, I don't know what they're thinking there, but I can see them doing that. So, But what they will do in this situation is keep the pick and take Chase Young.
Yep. I agree with you. I believe that if Chase Young gets if he drops here, they'll take him. If it falls, Chase Young goes second. I think the Lions will go with Okuda.
Yep.
I hate to just read this guy's one, but it seems to make the most sense from me out of the mock drafts that I've read. What was is it Slay, the guy that left to the Lions?
And they didn't actually get anyone. I had a look at their list.
Yep.
They haven't replaced...
They need a corner bad.
Yeah, they haven't really replaced anything.
They could get a lockdown corner first up. Yeah. So what I think they will do and what they think they should do is the same thing again.
Yep.
Number 4, New York Giants.
Yeah, so...
What should they do?
I've got them looking... Again, they could trade back.
Yep.
I don't think it'll happen unless the Chargers... I assume the Chargers try and be sneaky and get ahead of Miami.
Yep.
Miami would be stupid to get rid of their picks at the moment.
Yep.
I'd just wait that one pick and go, well, if someone wants to jump me, so be it.
Yep.
But I think, they look to trade, but if they don't, they'd be going offensive lineman.
I agree. Yep.
I think they just have to. They spent so much equity drafting Daniel Jones, who has a lot of question marks as it is, that they need to protect him. They need to be able to help Saquon as well in the run game.
Yep.
So
what should they do? Who should they take? Which tackle?
I think they will go Tristan Wirfs.
Yep. What should they do?
I think for them, Mekhi Becton would be a really good one because he's so big. He can open up running lanes. He's decent in pass protection. It just would make a lot of sense to their team in particular. Whether or not they will, I don't know. So, but I can see them going Wirfs because he was the most athletically gifted. They'll go, well, we're going to run a lot of stunts and things trying to help out in the run game.
Yep.
He'll be the guy. So,
what I think will happen... what I think should happen, I think that they should take Becton only based upon size. Like you said, I think that having a left tackle that's humongous, like my fucking biceps. No, seriously, that cunt's fucking arms are the size of my legs.
Have you seen the size of his legs? They're like the whole size of your torso. They're fucking huge.
He's a big unit. I think they should take him. What I think they will take is they'll either take Jedrick Wills at tackle or Wirfs. I've got a feeling it'll be Wirfs, but according to this fella's mock draft,
good old
apparently, it makes sense because he's from Alabama. A lot of the big schools, they get overdrafted for sure. Yeah. Number 5, we are looking at the Dolphins here.
Beautiful. So the Dolphins are the team I'm most interested to see how they go with the draft. It's always good when you got multiple first rounders.
Yeah.
Like the Browns a couple of years ago, they're shit. Their whole roster from head to toe was atrocious.
Yeah.
They fixed a couple of holes, in free agency.
Yeah.
But if you're rebuilding to the future, I would look to trade silly question here, but I would look to trade the Dolphins pick at 5. They have a huge need for quarterback, but I think if you could make the trade with the Raiders, that would be ideal. Like, get 2 first-rounders. You only move down to pick 12. You pick up pick 19, I think it is as well. You add in 4 now first-rounders into your starting. Most of them will start, right? You've now picked up 4 starters, and you can then tank for the year and pick up the best quarterback next year. And I think you've got another two firsts next year on top of their own pick to pick up more elite players. If you think in 2 years, right, you could have 10 first-round picks, like, imagine that. Have your whole team. Like, half of your starting lineup is first-round picks, and they're all around the same age and can grow together. And all on fuck all wage-wise, you could get people in.
Yep.
That would be the ideal scenario. However, in this, I see that they will actually take quarterback and take Tua Tagovailoa.
Yep.
Who is definitely not a bad player. Like,
I straight up agree with you completely. Exactly what you said for 5.
Beautiful. I like that.
I'm not trying to be complacent. I got a feeling that'll happen. Number 6, Chargers. What should they do?
I think they should probably trade up for a quarterback. No offense to Tyrod Taylor, but he's shit. He is. He has not proven in any real scheme that he can win you games.
Yeah.
He might not lose you games, which is great because they've got a great defense at the Chargers, but you need guys that can win you games. Look at what Patrick Mahomes has done. Look at Lamar Jackson,
Aaron Rodgers,
even
Tom Brady,
Matt Ryan, all those guys. Yes, they've had, in most cases, good defenses, but they've been able to win you games.
Yeah.
So I think they move up and try and probably take Tua. Would be the guy I would, again, discussed it yesterday, and he would fit the criteria the best. But in this one, I can see them, because Tua's obviously off the board, I see them taking Justin Herbert.
Yep. I'm the same there. And I think they'll do that. But I think they should go up and go for Tua.
Yep.
Number 7, the Panthers.
Do you want to take the lead on this one?
Yeah, sure. What should they do? Well, no Luke Kuechly, so linebacker.
Yep.
So they go Isaiah Simmons if he's there.
Yeah, on your board he's still there, so that'd be a home run hit there.
What will they do? They'll do that if he's there. If he's gone and someone drops, it depends how far Okada drops.
Yeah.
If he drops to 7, I think they'll go him. I don't really see anyone else that they would be super interested in. Are they weak at wide receiver? They might go a Jerry Jeudy type guy, maybe.
They've actually so they've got DJ Moore, who's quite a good player, and they picked up Robbie Anderson as well in free agency.
Oh yes, they did.
So they don't have a huge need at wide receiver.
Yeah.
What
are your thoughts?
I'm going to quickly pipe in. I've got them going best player available.
Yep.
So someone's going to fall.
Whoever it is.
Yeah. In this case, I've actually got Okuda here, but I didn't select him. I can see them overlooking him for a need with defensive tackle, because they haven't been able to fill it for years. They've tried different people. Derek Brown.
Yeah.
A lot of people are a bit sceptical now. Derek Brown reminds me a lot, and I mean a lot, of a player the Bills drafted last year who I said was going to be a freak show. Who was your defensive tackle last year?
Ed Oliver.
Correct, Amundo. Reminds me a lot.
The wrecking ball.
Reminds me a lot. Plays a very similar game. Isn't
same
as
style.
Isn't as twitchy.
Is he same height and weight, or is he
very
bigger
similar.
or smaller?
Very similar.
Yeah.
Isn't as twitchy. Nowhere near as twitchy.
Right.
But has the
Probably
ability.
A bit more strength, maybe.
Yeah. He's a bit better in the run game than what Oliver is.
Yeah.
His pass rush is very underdeveloped. But I can see him still being an absolute freak show. Like, I'd be happy if he gets to pick 10 at the Browns. That would be a good idea if things fell, depending on how they fell.
Sure.
But yeah, I'd say I think that they will take Derek Brown.
Pick 8, Cardinals. What should they do?
There is only one option, surely, and that is offensive line.
Yeah.
Their offensive line has been AIDS for so long, and you've now got an elite quarterback that you love in Kyler Murray.
Protect that motherfucker.
Yeah. He's going to be running around as well.
Wrap that bitch in bubble wrap.
You need as much help as you can.
Yep.
So I've actually got him going with their pick, Mekhi Becton. He's still there, obviously, in mine. And he'd be the perfect scenario because he's going to open up run holes for both Kendrick Drake, but also for Kyler. And his pass protection is still quite good as well. Yep. So
I think they'll do the same thing. I reckon they should take a offensive tackle. I think they will, unless someone falls.
There's always that as well.
There's always that. But we're looking at that right through the board, looking at, the Jags next, the Browns after that, anything that falls. I mean, shit, if Isaiah Simmons is on the,
I don't know how they can turn him down.
If he's there at 10, if the Browns don't take him, my God, just imagine you watching the draft live, Isaiah Simmons, the queen of the chessboard, as we say, that can line up at any position on defense. Fucking one guy you would love to have in the Browns, I would imagine.
Oh, for sure.
Out of the top 15, just out of curiosity to take it to the Browns.
Yeah.
Which players, top 3 players out of the top, if you could pick any 3 just to fit the Browns, like if anyone could fall apart from quarterbacks.
Yep.
Because you don't need them. Don't need one.
Yep.
And we're going to definitely assume that Chase Young doesn't fall that long.
Yeah.
Let's say Okuda does fall that low, and then Simmons, and then your Derek Browns, Bectons, Wirfs, tackles, whatever, receivers. What were your top 3? Your top 3. If it was a dream scenario and someone fell.
So my dream scenario, based off my film that I've watched, I would have, because we have a massive need at left tackle. Yeah. Because we have a massive need at left tackle, I would be wanting Andrew Thomas, who I actually have projected to go there because of the way it's all fallen.
Yep.
Teams are looking a bit more run heavy instead of pass heavy.
Yep.
The ones that are above us.
Yep.
I think I would love to have Derek Brown because I think he would be phenomenal. He is more of a run stopper, and we've already got very pass rush orientated.
Yep.
And I think Okuda would be a great one to have.
Imagine having Ward and Okuda lining up as corners.
I think that'd be...
Who do you throw to?
It'd be bookends, well and truly. And then you'd have Greedy Williams doing the slot. You're set.
Yeah.
But in this case, I'd like it. It all depends, because I think if Okuda's there, right? If Okuda's still there when they pick, or Brown for that matter, I reckon they'll take them.
Yeah.
And then actually, if those people don't fall, I reckon they'll go offensive lineman, and they'll go the one that they want, whoever that is. I think what will happen though if these skill players get through, or in this case Derek Brown as well, I think they'll sign them and then actually trade for a left tackle.
Yep.
I think that would be, analytics wise, that would be the smart way of doing things, and that's what they're trying to build on.
Yep.
So I think, for them, that's where they would be.
Okay. I do just quickly agree with the Cardinals. I think they'll take an offensive lineman, whoever they want. Yep. Number 9. Now, this is an interesting one because the Jags have probably a few different holes that they could try and fill here. I think if Okuda falls, that they'll go him for sure. What should they do? I don't think he'll be there. I don't know enough about the Jags to answer what I think they should do, but what they will do, they'll pick an offensive lineman, or they'll pick someone like Kinlaw.
Yep.
Or maybe Kalavon Chasen. That's the fellow I mentioned before.
Yeah.
Maybe. They might go there.
They could. That would give them good bookends.
What do they like at safety? Good or shit?
Yeah, not great. They've got a couple of good young pieces that'll be all right.
The top safety.
I don't think he is, but that's what analysts have claimed.
Yeah.
I think he's actually quite overrated, but yeah.
Sure.
Jags? I have them looking at corner.
Yep.
I think they'll probably take corner either way, even if Okuda's not there.
Yep. Who's the second best in the draft, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I actually have Okuda as number 1, but it's only just. And then I have Trevon Diggs as my number 2.
I'm just reading through this mock draft here. The next corner off this guy's mock draft, there's 2. There's CJ Henderson.
Yeah.
And then there's AJ Terrell.
I love AJ Terrell. I think he'll fall, though.
And then Christian Fulton.
Christian Fulton is a guy that's still decent.
Yep.
He's played at LSU and was a decent player. Diggs, however, I don't know how people are sleeping on him. He is your true ball hawking corner.
Yeah.
Is
he aggressive?
He is your Marcus Peters
Yeah.
type player.
Yeah.
And he used to be a wide receiver, has transitioned. His brother is Stephon Diggs,
Yep.
who the Bills have just acquired.
Yep.
And knows how to play against his own brother.
Yep.
Again,
Yeah.
I think he will be amazing.
Yeah.
Diggs, like he's almost my number 1. Like
Yep.
big call, but he
Yep.
is almost my number 1.
Yep. Number
So-
10, I'll leave you to do this one because it's your team.
Yeah.
Browns. What should they do and what will they do?
So again, kind of as I said before, they should go best player available. There's some good options out there. Trent Williams is a good trade option. I reckon you could pick him up for a 4th round pick now. Like they've waited that long.
If they get him, obviously they're going to go somewhere else.
Yep.
Where would you go?
I would go best player available. So whoever falls, if no one fell, I'd like to see him actually go someone like Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver. And a very controversial one, I'd like to see him fuck off Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you've got so much money in the wide receiver position,
Yeah.
and you don't need it.
I suppose you'd have to look at the salary cap implications and stuff. I haven't actually looked into that.
The Browns
but-
have heaps. But
Yeah. But you know, like dead
long
money.
term,
Do you know? Yeah.
There shouldn't be too much dead money to trade it. It'd
Yeah.
only be if you were cutting him.
Oh, right. Yep.
But, yeah.
I'd reckon we stop there, mate.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably because you've got to get going. Might just quickly answer if you got 30 seconds.
Yeah, I can give you
Buffalo
30 seconds.
Bills, you're picked 54. You can't get up to the first round. You don't want to.
Yep.
Who falls to 54? There's the best player available. I know it's hard.
I think AJ Terrell may be there. I know you mentioned him before.
Yep.
I have a very high grade on him.
Yep.
He's a corner that's slowly starting to get a bit.
Do you think any running backs will drop that low?
One of them will have to.
Yeah.
Depending on which
Who are
one.
the top 3 according to analysts? Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift.
And J.K. Dobbins.
Yep.
They're the 3 that I have as well.
Yep. Which one would be the best opposite Devin Singletary?
I think Jonathan Taylor's the best running back this year.
Yeah, but you don't think he will drop that far?
I think over the last couple of years, there's only 3 guys that really stand out to me as pure runners.
Yep.
And that's Nick Chubb,
Yep.
who I actually said back very controversially a couple of years ago
Yep.
would be better than Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
Obviously, Saquon. And then this year...
Oh, they're both fucking elite players, aren't they? Yeah.
They really are. But again, I was watching it and I'm like, Chubb, man, he just does amazing things.
Chubb.
He does. And the other one now is Jonathan Taylor. Like,
Yep.
if he's there, if he falls to the second round and you don't trade up for him, or any team doesn't try and trade up for him, I think they are on meth. Because the skill difference for him to fall into the second round is just... He'll be a top 5 running back in this league
Yep.
as a rookie.
Cool.
Like, comfortably.
Beautiful.
So...
Alrighty, so we'll finish up there, guys. Thank you for listening to episode 2.5 or 3 or 3.5, whatever you want to call it. If you want to be a guest, please shout out. I've had a few people that have been like, yeah, man, I'll come on the show, but then they don't fucking actually organise anything. So thanks, James, for being on the show and actually organising shit.
Thank you.
Well, twice. Thank you. Thank you very much. And just as a last little treat for the people listening, I'm going to sing you something. How can we be lovers if we can't be friends? How can we start over when the fight never ends?